water, earth, fire, air. Bending, the ability to manipulate one of the 4 physical elements in the world. Each of the 4 nations controls an element. The bending arts are performed using a person's inner chi, and they manipulate the elements through martial arts styles that reflect the element itself. Waterbending is the first of the 4 bending arts, to manipulate water and its forms of snow and ice. Waterbenders generally exist in the North and South water tribes, which stand at the poles. The ancestors of the waterbenders learnt the form from the moon, witnessing the way it pushed and pulled the tide. Mimicking the movements they learned to manipulate the water themselves, and waterbending was born. All waterbenders have a strong connection to the moon spirit and the ocean spirit. Waterbenders, like the water they manipulate, use strong and fluid movements in their bending, able to switch freely between defensive and offensive. They can freely switch it from liquid, ice and snow, and generally have a very strategic style. Certain waterbenders can also heal using water as a catalyst. Earthbending is the geokinetic ability to manipulate earth, rock, and all their various forms. The Earth Kingdom has the largest landmass of all the different regions. Earthbending was originally known by the badger moles, who were blind and used the ability to burrow and move through the earth. 2 humans called Omar and Shu were the first to learn earthbending, mimicking the abilities of the badger moles. Earthbenders use strong and forceful movements, and are all usually strong and difficult to move. Earthbending stresses neutral jing, which involves listening and waiting for the right moment to attack. As such, more earthbenders will weather attacks and bide time until the perfect opportunity to strike, acting decisively and with overwhelming force. Firebending is the pyrokinetic ability to control and manipulate fire. The Fire Nation is a large series of volcanic islands along the equator to the west. It is the second largest in size only to the Earth Kingdom. The first firebenders were the dragons, who knew that firebending represented life and energy and an unflinching will. The Sun Warriors were the first to learn the art from the dragons, and all the firebenders draw power from the sun. Firebending has little defensive moves, concentrating on using swift and whirling attacks to overwhelm opponents before delivering a final fatal blow. Using circular motions is a key aspect of firebending, and the bender uses the movement to power up and enhance the attack. Airbending is the aerokinetic ability to manipulate and control the currents of the air. The air nomads exist in 4 air temples, 2 of which exist in the Earth Kingdom, 1 north of the Fire Nation and another in the Patola mountain range. Flying bisons were the first users of airbending, able to manipulate air with their beaver-like tails and fly without any visible means of propulsion. The air nomads studied them and learnt to airbend, even borrowing the arrow mark on the bisons to signify one who has mastered the airbending art. Airbending is the element of freedom, and as such, air nomads detach themselves from the world and are a peaceful people. Key to airbending is flexibility and finding the right path of least resistance. Airbending is notable for being almost purely defensive, with only a small amount of offensive attacks. Using circular and evasive movements, they build up momentum, able to release massive bursts of power and air.
Secret tunnel.